All right, it's day two of the Ice Vegas Invitational. Why not bring Tyler Paley back in, the man that knows it all about Sun Devil hockey? And Tyler, I understand you've been out and about today doing some things in Vegas.
Yeah, going around the city and just filming some things for a story I'm working on for Arizona PBS. So yeah, I've been out and about all day and still don't have quite everything I want or need, but we're getting there.
So what are you finding out about Vegas when you're out and about there? What's new and exciting in Vegas?
I mean, it's just an awesome place. You know, I've been here probably half a dozen times or so now, and I guess most recently, or 2 times ago that I came, it was for the shooting that had just happened, and I came to do a story on it, and it was just so surreal. It was such a somber note here in this city. And then I came back about a week later, and you could feel it starting to come up. And now coming back a couple months later, you just feel like the energy is back in this city. I didn't necessarily find anything new per se, but it's the energy that I originally found and so many people love in Vegas. And it's good to see that this city is getting back up on their feet after that horrific event.
You know, you and I talked a little bit about a couple of players that are with the Sun Devils and key players, actually. Joey Ratz and Dominic Garcia. And I know you're working on a story on that, but how has the community accepted those two as NCAA players? I know they've had Jason Zucker and Derek Englund and stuff in the past, but how are they accepting these two playing so close to home in NCAA hockey?
I think it's unbelievable for the community and for them to see two young people in the grand scheme of things rise up through the ranks here in Las Vegas, right in their hometown, and become Division I hockey players. And not only Division I hockey players, but playing 4 hours from home. And that's really special for a community. On the player side, that's really special for them too, because Dominic Garcia, he was telling me yesterday that his family doesn't get to see him play that often. You know, they still live 4 hours away, and granted, that's a lot closer than somebody who might live on the East Coast, but still, it's a journey to get down to Arizona, and for him to come be able to play right here in his hometown, that's really special to him, and I'm sure to Joey, who I plan on talking to later today as well.
So last night we had the first game, and I think that the team took us all by surprise. I didn't see a 3-goal outburst in the opening period coming. Did you?
No, not at all. I mean, that was unbelievable. I was really pleasantly surprised. I think that, look, this team, we talked about it yesterday and we've talked about it all season long. This team doesn't have the skill to necessarily compete at the highest levels of the NCAA right now. That's just the fact of the matter. But when you can beat a team that isn't half bad in Northern Michigan by that large of a margin, that really sends a statement. When you win 7-3, by far the best offensive night for Arizona State, at least this year, if not in its program history so far, that's really impressive.
You know, last night we heard Coach Powers talk about this week was about fun, right?
Yeah.
He told the guys he wanted to have fun. He brought them over to his house Wednesday night. They looked like they were having fun last night. Is that what you saw?
That's exactly what I saw, and that's why I asked him that, because I was actually standing in between the benches for 2 periods of that game yesterday, and it just seemed like everybody was having more fun. Everybody was loose out there. And granted, when you're winning 3-0 or when you get the first goals of the game, obviously you're going to be a little looser out there. But it was just a nice, refreshing thing to see a team that has really struggled, offensively especially, struggled to get wins. And of course, Powers keeps saying that's not what it's about. But it was good to see a team finally win and kind of get that joy back, especially on the road.
Absolutely, and when you broke it down, the whole game into the 3 different periods, the Sun Devils get 3 in the first period and they have a 3-0 lead. Then Joey DeCourt does his thing to hold off a pretty heavy rush from the Wildcats. And then the third period, the Sun Devils come back and get 4.
Yeah, it was really unbelievable. I mean, the second period, ASU struggled, and quite honestly, Scott, frankly, that was the worst period of hockey I think I've ever seen, not only from ASU, but just in general. I mean, that was just a terrible period on both sides. But yeah, then the third period, they came back with that offensive explosiveness. Gage Huff got in on the action. That's always good to see from the old-timer, as they call him. But yeah, the captains really stepped up. Brinson Pashnuk had a goal and a couple of assists. It was just good to see these players who we know have the skill to be leaders on this team actually step up and do it.
What do you feel, seeing the guys last night and seeing them already today a little bit, what do you feel they've got in store for tonight? Are they ready for this?
Are they ready for it? I think you're as ready as you're ever going to be. But I think Michigan Tech is one heck of a hockey program. I mean, just the way that they competed with BC and ended up beating BC yesterday. And granted, BC is not the normal Jerry York team right now. They have their flaws, but when you're playing against such a storied program in BC and you're beating them, that says something. And then ASU and Michigan Tech, this is something I've actually been thinking about. They might have this kind of unspoken rivalry starting up. They've played the last year, now playing tonight in this championship game. In a couple or about a month from now, they'll head up to the UP in Michigan and play them there. So who knows? I mean, this could be kind of some sort of unspoken rivalry. Who knows what we'll expect tonight? But in answer to your original question, I think they are ready. It's whether or not they can compete with Michigan Tech.
Yeah, and last night what I noticed, it looked like the Sun Devils came out and played their traditional real heavy game to start. They were forechecking, they were driving people into the boards, they were opening up the ice. They kind of backed off, I think, in the second period and then did it again in the third period. But in my estimation, to beat Michigan Tech, you're going to have to come out and throw yourself around, throw that weight around a little bit initially. Is that what you're thinking?
Oh, 100%. You have to come out strong out of the gates, because if you fall down 1-0, 2-0, and you're heading into an intermission, it's a struggle to come back against this highly talented team. You don't want to fall behind against this team. You don't want to fall behind against anybody, but especially a game like this, you need to come out swinging. You need to continue to frustrate people, and I think that's what ASU does so well with guys like Johnny Walker, Dominic Garcia, Tyler Bush. All of those guys are really enforcers. They frustrate the other team, and they did that so well yesterday. If they can continue to do that today, there's no reason they can't win.
So final question for you. Assuming we get a win out of this one and we win a tournament title, what will that do, do you think, for this upcoming homestand and propelling them the rest of the way?
Well, first of all, I think it will generate a little more hype in this new year for the fans to come out. And obviously the Oceanside games pretty much always get sold out. But there's one or a couple of Gila River games with BU, with Quinnipiac coming up in there. So it can really drive the fan base to come out to these games. As far as the players, they have said time and time again, as well as Coach Powers, they love playing at Oceanside. That is their home barn. That's where they prefer over Gila River. But being able to go back home 3 weeks straight and sleep in your own beds, practicing your own barns, and coming off of an Ice Vegas Invitational Championship would mean everything to this team.
Tyler, I appreciate your time as always. I know you're busy, and sitting down with you is always fun because I love talking hockey, and I know you do as well.
Love it, Scott. Thank you.